Welcome back to the Hitstick, Dallas. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are we?
Good, man. Got another guest with us today.
Yeah.
Darian,
What's happening?
how
What's
are you,
happening,
buddy?
guys? Doing fantastic. Ready to talk about the games this weekend.
This is actually we're gonna recap first the wild card weekend because actually it was an insane
Okay.
weekend of football games.
Yeah.
There was some crazy actually. There was a couple games that it went no way the way I expected them to. The Dolphins game and that Cowboys Bucks game. I didn't expect either one of those to go the way they did. But first, the first game of the week, it was the Niners and Seahawks. That game was a great game.
It was.
It was a good game. It really was. Brock Purdy and Geno Smith played very good football on both sides. Obviously, the Niners, being the powerhouse that they are, they obviously won this game. But Seattle put up a fight for a good majority of the first half, I would say. I mean, they had the lead at halftime. And then obviously San Francisco made their adjustments, and the Seahawks really didn't do much in the second half. Dallas, I know you're really high on Brock Purdy. I know you are.
He hasn't given me anything to dislike about him. Not one single thing. So I'm going to give him credit where it's due. The quarterback position. It's the most important position in football. It's the most vital position in football. A good or bad quarterback will win or lose you games. He's playing like a winning quarterback. You might have a great team around him, but if he was terrible, if he was the worst quarterback to ever play, he would be losing this team games. It doesn't matter how good the team around him is.
Yeah, I mean, he's been good. He's been good. I'm not gonna overhype him. I won't. I refuse to. Refuse to. He's been good. He's been good. I'm not gonna deny that he has not been like he's been a solid quarterback. He's been better than most of the other quarterbacks that have played, but it's still early.
I think
I have to see more after this first season. I'm not gonna give a rating based on 7 or however many games he played. You know, it wasn't like a crazy sample size. No one had film from him. Literally nobody. Literally basically an undrafted quarterback. He was the last pick in the draft. No one wanted him. Literally, everyone passed on him.
And what I'll say about this last Seattle game is, if you look at some of the throws he made, he was very much bailed out by poor defense.
I would say that.
There was a couple throws he made that, now don't get me wrong, for the most part did well, but there's just a few throws in there that if the defender makes the right play on it, that ball's going the other way, and that game could have went another way.
It's true. Like there was a few plays I will say where, and it pisses me off because like people were literally praising some of the throws he was making where he was underthrowing receivers, he was overthrowing receivers. The receivers were still making plays to go actually get the damn ball. There was a catch by freaking Deebo Samuel where he literally launched a ball probably like 40 yards, and Deebo Samuel literally had to go and overextend to go catch the ball because it was overthrown past his receiver. And someone like people were literally claiming that it was a great, like, perfect pass by Brock Purdy. Like that's the stuff that irritates me when people talk about how good Brock Purdy is like they're overpraising some of these plays and passes that he's making where they're not great passes. I'm not saying they're terrible passes, but they're not like this spectacular, like, best of the all time kind of throws. It's like he's making average throws sometimes where people are overpraising them.
The one that sticks out to me is the one he underthrew. And I think it was Kittle made a play on, and he had to cut in and basically play DB, but somehow caught the ball. Yeah. And the only reason it was caught by a 49er was because the Seahawks corner didn't turn around.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to knock Brock Purdy by any means. I'm just saying,
he's been playing
I
good.
think he's, at this point, because of how well he has played in his small sample size of games, like I said, people are starting to overhype him. And that's where I am drawing a line because, like I said, small sample size, no film whatsoever, NFL film anyway. He played with 3s and 4s basically his entire preseason and training camp, and then didn't touch the football field the first however many games behind, Trey Lance to start the season and Jimmy Garoppolo before he came onto the football field. So like there's no film for the majority of the beginning. So those first couple games, there's nothing they can NFL defenses can do really. Now there's a little bit of film, but I need to see more before I can give a fair assessment. It's the same thing with rookie quarterbacks. Like you can't judge a quarterback this early on, like Kenny Pickett, Sam Howell, Desmond Ritter. These rookie quarterbacks, like there's no true sample size yet to give a fair assessment as to is this guy good, is this guy trash, should he even be on the football field? Like that's where I'm drawing a line. Is I'm not trying to knock him. He's played great, but I'm not going to say he's a god tier next Tom Brady. Yet. That's where I'm drawing the line.
Yeah. But what I will say about him is I do think he might have solidified himself as a starter in the NFL.
I agree with that 100%.
I do. I really feel like he solidified himself with the way he's been playing, how consistently he's been playing, because that is one thing about him. He has been consistent. There hasn't been, a great game, and then I was bailed out by my running backs with Christian McCaffrey, and then, also putting Deebo Samuel back there and Juice Chick. Like, there has been no game where he's been bailed out completely. A play or two here and there, but he has been very, very consistently good. Maybe not great, but good. Which is honestly, that's all you can add. That's what you need to be a successful NFL quarterback. You need to be consistently good. Like we're talking about this weekend, going over the recap, like Geno Smith, right? He played consistently good all season. The team around him let him down with a lot of turnovers and everything else.
Yeah.
So that's what I think the Niners took advantage of last week was the turnovers that the Seahawks allowed. And with Brock Purdy playing as consistently good as he has been, he just took advantage of those turnovers. And if you look in the second half, that's when they pulled away that strip sack that I think was it Bosa that got it?
It wasn't Bosa. Bosa recovered it. He didn't actually strip it.
Bosa recovered it. So yeah, that strip sack that Bosa recovered, that was the turning point in the game. That was where all the momentum swung towards the 49ers and Brock Purdy capitalized, and that gave them that put them, 2-score lead, and then they just took off from there.
Yeah, they pulled away. The one thing I will say, and this is a praise of Brock Purdy, is he's picked up the NFL playbook very, very quickly.
Yes.
For a guy who sat behind not one but two quarterbacks on that depth chart up until he came onto the field. Like he was literally playing with 3s and 4s, practice squad, like basically literally like a practice squad guy. As a third-string quarterback in the NFL, you don't play with the 1s and 2s. You never touch the field with them. You don't see them.
He became a student of the game.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I've played quarterback. That's been the position I've played my entire life, and that's what he did. He took the time. He took the his efforts, his energy. He worked and he studied, the difference in these defenses, the stunt blitz that they run in the NFL compared to college. Like he actually took the time to study, which I really think is what gave him, the consistency that he's brought to the field for the Niners.
Definitely. I mean, he like I said, I'm not gonna knock him for anything. Like he's played phenomenal. I can't give a fair assessment yet. Gotta see. Even if they go all the way this year, I'm still not going to make an assessment yet until he gets more of a sample size, because teams will have film on him next year. So if he struggles next year, then things can make an assessment after that full season would be more fair. I can't say that, like if you look at Desmond Ritter this year, Desmond Ritter has played pretty terrible for Atlanta this year. But he has a small sample size. He could come out next year and be freaking lights out for that team if he has the chance. You know what I mean? Like, so I can't make fair assessments of these guys until they have a bigger sample size to work with. I'm just trying to be fair. I think that's a fair assessment. You know what I mean?
I saw something earlier. The talking about him, like down in Atlanta, they lost a huge target on offense.
Who's that?
I think what I was reading was Ridley got traded.
No, Ridley's been in Jacksonville for a while. They traded him a while ago, but he's not even necessarily playing. He's still suspended indefinitely.
That's what I was saying. Like they're not gonna. I mean, he's been okay. So he's been down in Jacksonville. I just read it today.
Yeah, he's been down there since
that Atlanta lost. But
he's been there. They traded him right around the deadline.
I guess I might have missed that one.
Yeah.
Work be getting you
I
sometimes,
mean,
right?
but but it wasn't like necessarily a big like trade by any means. Like he's suspended indefinitely.
Yeah.
Like he may not play for Jacksonville at all. I mean, they traded him with the the opportunity for him to come back, but he still can't touch the football field legally. So, but like I said, just
For me,
assessments.
as of right now, I'm saying Brock Purdy was the best quarterback to come out of that draft.
He's been playing the most consistent. I'll agree with that.
Played the best, yes. I will say that. I'm still not going to make a judgment on who's the best out of it yet. It's too early. None of the quarterbacks that came out of this draft class have had a full season. None of them. Not even Kenny Pickett, who was literally drafted to be a starter, didn't play a full season. Can't judge him yet. Sam Howell played one game. Can't judge him yet. You had the guy down, Matt Corral in Carolina. Never played the football. Never touched the football field because he was out all year with an injury. Can't judge him yet. Desmond Ridder played 4 games at the end of the season after the Falcons gave up on football, basically. Can't judge him yet. Am I missing any other rookie quarterbacks? Skylar Thompson in Miami. I mean, like, that situation, can't judge him yet. He wasn't drafted to be a starter, though, so it's, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, you have to give more sample size.
Judging these quarterbacks, I'm just more so, giving,
yeah, it's your opinion.
Giving credit where it's due. I mean, being a rookie quarterback is hard in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's rare for a rookie quarterback to do what Brock Purdy's doing, so that's why I'm giving him credit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking him, not by any means. Just trying to be fair because of sample sizes. Literally, exactly. That's all I'm saying. But anywho, big win for the 49ers. They move on to the divisional round. Seahawks, great season out of them. Unfortunate end to the season for them, but they played great.
Nobody thought they were.
No one thought the Seahawks were going to be in this position either way. No one at all. If you told me that the Seahawks were going to do this when they traded away, Russell Wilson originally before this season, I would have thought you were crazy.
I would have expected the Broncos to be in this position over the Seahawks.
100%. I think I would have reversed them 100%. But I mean, it's the NFL. Anything can freaking happen. Apparently.
Exactly.
Good season for Seattle, though. They've showed a lot of potential for future seasons with the youth that they've started to develop on that team. So, good running backs, good offensive line, some good defenders.
Walker's gonna have a hell of a career if he stays healthy.
Yep, 100%. The next game was we had the Jaguars and Chargers.
That game had me at the edge of my seat.
That game was nuts.
After halftime.
Insane.
Watched
Taylor
Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, 100%. Like, Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what was said to them in the locker room at halftime, but that man came out looking like an MVP.
Man had playoff jitters in the first half, bro.
He looked horrible in the first half.
Playoff jitters, man.
Overthrowing the ball. Like, he came into that game number 1 in pass attempts to interception ratio in the entire NFL.
He had more completions to the Chargers than he did to his own team in the first half.
What was it, like 60 yards passing in the first half or something wild? It was
insane. I've never seen a quarterback throw 4 picks in one half and then touchdowns.
He had 3 completed passes in the first half.
Like, that blew my mind. And everyone thought he was going to break his streak of never losing on a Saturday in his entire career. 3-0 in high school. Was it like 36-0 in college?
Never lost in college, yeah.
Yeah, like 36-0 in college, and now he's continued that streak and still undefeated on Saturdays, which is wild to me. We'll see how it goes this weekend, but
I mean,
yeah, that game, I don't know what happened. I don't know if that game had me.
Brandon Staley is a horrible coach. I'm just gonna say that flat out.
Yeah, the Chargers fumbled that.
Like,
they completely blew this game. Going back to the week before, with the Chargers leaving their starters in a meaningless game, you lose Mike Williams, you lose Bosa, your quarterback got hurt again, and then their middle linebacker got hurt. I know they had all 3 played. I'm pretty sure Bosa played too. He did. But you lose Mike Williams, and he does not play this week. That's a problem. You go into the playoffs with all those injuries in a game that did not matter.
Yeah.
You're bound to have problems in the playoffs if you lose all that in the last game of the season. Like, I don't know what the Chargers are doing. I don't know what Brandon Staley's doing. I don't know what his mindset was going into the playoffs. It was not pretty. Like, that Week 18 game for the Chargers was not pretty. You go into this game, you go up 27-0, and you choke this game away.
27 points in the first half, 3 in the second half. Like, I really wonder what the score of this game would have been if the Jaguars came out and played the first half like they did the second half.
It could have been much worse.
It could have been bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Just gonna say that game, made me some money, but we're gonna leave that one there. But
Brandon Staley is I hate him as a coach. I do not like him as a coach in the NFL. I don't think he has the motivational side of it to keep that locker room going.
The leadership.
Yeah, exactly. I've never seen that out of him. He's never been that kind of guy. He doesn't really have a fire. He doesn't get all fired up on the sideline if there's like a big penalty or something game changing. He doesn't get fired up on the sideline. So I can only imagine what he's like in the locker room. He doesn't seem to have that fire that a lot of these coaches have.
And don't get me wrong, like, that's not necessarily always a bad thing, because you look at guys like Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Super relaxed, super chill. Andy Reid doesn't like go up and overboard, right?
No.
But you have to set a precedence with your team as the coach. Like, you have to be, if that's the way you're going to run your team, and you're not going to be the super, I guess, boisterous is the way to put it. You're not.
Yeah, but if you look, you brought up Mike Tomlin and Andy Reid. They are well respected in those locker rooms.
Yes, they have earned that. He has not got to the point where he can coach like they coach.
I'm not even talking about earning the respect. Like, they have respect in their own locker rooms by players that are new to those teams, like, right away. Yeah. I'm not saying like because they've been in the NFL for so long. I'm saying that I think they get that respect from their players right away. They control those locker rooms. They know what they're doing. Obviously, they're experienced coaches. They've been in the NFL for so freaking long. I think that their personalities, though, have a lot to do with that itself. I think they're not, like, over the top, like, fired up coaches. I've seen them get hot. I've seen Andy Reid turn red in the face. I've seen Mike Tomlin throw things. They do get fired up, but that's the thing. Like, I think they can motivate those teams. I don't see Brandon Staley doing that ever. I don't like him. I think he's a quiet dude. He's reserved, and I don't think he runs a team well enough to be an NFL head coach.
I mean, he kind of showed that he doesn't have the personnel management at the end of the season.
No.
Getting, three of your star players injured.
Yeah, no. And the shittiest part about all of it is they fired a bunch of dudes. Like, he fired a bunch of his staff. And I feel like that's almost like a scapegoat thing. Like, they fired their offensive coordinator, they fired a bunch of assistants, but, like, you got to hold him responsible there too, in my opinion.
100%, yeah. Like, accountability goes all the way through and through.
I feel like he took the blame and just put it on his other coaches and said, "Okay, it's your guys' fault. It's not mine. It's your fault." Like, we had no offense in the second half. That's your fault, not mine. I don't like that situation in LA for them. I really don't. Tough one.
Talented team, like, not really great front office.
It's a mess out there in LA.
I mean, we'll see what happens next year. We'll see how they come out and they bounce back from it, because I think they have the personnel to be great, to be a great team. However, I guess, like you said, a lot of it's the coaching. A coach makes a huge difference.
If Staley survives another full season in the NFL, that there's something wrong with that team.
I mean, like we were just talking about the Jaguars. Look at Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson's a winning coach.
That's what I'm saying. So he goes down there to a team that was, what was the record last year? Like 3-3 12?
The Jaguars, they
Yeah.
won like 3 games, I think, total.
And you look at what he's done for them this season. So that's what we're talking coaches. Like, it makes a huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah, I mean, the coaches make a difference. They really do. The leadership is a big key in that every single year. It always is.
Yeah, because it's not just football isn't just you get the players dominate. There's play calling, there's game planning. All of that stuff is a factor in whether or not these teams win or lose games.
Yeah, they went 3-14 last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, they won 3 games last year.
Yep.
And then he does what he does in the offseason. And I don't think
they put their trust in Trevor Lawrence and built around him.
Exactly, and I just don't think that the Chargers coach has the capability to do that. I don't think he can do that.
He just doesn't have the motivation. He's not getting the talent. Like I've been preaching this. Dallas can attest to it. Are the coaches getting the talent out of the talent that's already on the roster? Like, can you get the talent out of the players that you have on your roster? It's stuff like, who the hell was I talking about? The Jets, for instance. There is a lot of talent on that Jets team.
Yes, there is.
Is the coach getting the talent out of that roster?
No.
I don't know.
Defensively, yes.
Defensively, yes. Offensively, it's another story. Where else we got? You had in Denver, Nathaniel Hackett. That roster, there is a lot of talented players on that team. Was he getting the talent out of those players? I don't think so. Look what happened to him. He got fired. There's a whole bunch of them. It's just like, are these coaches getting the talent out of those players? I don't think Staley was getting the talent out of that roster. That roster, if you look at it on paper, that roster could have easily won like 5 more games this year. Easily. Yeah. Like, they should have won this game. Flat out. Like, I don't know. Just not good. Not a good situation.
You had 2 of the top receivers in the NFL.
Hurt for most of the year.
Yes, but going into that game, you had both.
Well,
except
no,
for Williams.
Mike Williams got hurt. Yeah.
I'm saying, like, you should have had both.
No.
Because of poor coaching call. Now you're down one of the top receivers in the NFL.
Yep.
Your quarterback's, let's call him 60%.
Your quarterback's banged up.
Yeah, like, your offensive line's hurt.
Yeah, they lost their left tackle.
Your best pass rusher's gone.
Well, he wasn't gone. He played, but hurt.
He's injured.
Yeah.
So you're not full. So you take him out of the equation. So
yep.
Yeah, I don't think, unless he figures something out next year, then I don't think
I don't see him surviving another full freaking season in the NFL. I really don't. But we'll have to see how that goes later on down the line. The next game was the Bills-Dolphins game. This game was actually insane. I did not expect the Dolphins to even compete in this game, especially with
that game hurt you.
I mean, it hurts as a Dolphins fan, yes, but we shouldn't have even been in this situation with the way the quarterback play was this year.
But
injuries. I hate making the excuse of injuries ruined our season, but it did. A lot of the injuries that we had on defense, especially defense, hurt us this year.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to bring up the Tua situation because that's a whole other story that could go for hours on end. But the injuries on the defensive side of the football field for the Dolphins this year, it killed their season. It literally derailed their season. You don't have your starting corner opposite Xavier Howard does not play this year. Didn't play a single snap. You lose a safety early on in the year in Brandon Jones. He tore his Achilles. So Eric Rowe, who was a slot corner, slides over to safety and plays safety all year. Not ideal. He played okay. So you're down a starting corner, and that's a rotation of Nick Needham, Noah Igbenegene, and Kader Kuho, who was an undrafted rookie corner, rotating in and out opposite Xavier Howard all season long. And Nick Needham went down with a torn Achilles. Igbenegene was inconsistent, got burned a lot. And then you have an undrafted rookie corner playing corner in the NFL. It's not ideal. For a team that was expected to be one of the top teams in the NFL, expected. On paper, I would say they were expected to. With all the injuries they had, their defense definitely was a letdown this year. on the flip side of that, not having a starting quarterback for a majority of the season because of concussions hurts. So you go into the playoffs with already a weakened defense and no starting quarterback. It's not ideal. I wasn't expecting anything out of this game. I thought the Bills were going to kill them, especially with the way the Bills season ended this year, like the regular season, with all the motivation they had playing for DeMar Hamlin. I really thought the Bills would come out here and absolutely murder Miami, and they really didn't. Josh Allen made some mistakes in this game. He threw some interceptions. The Dolphins hung around with a third-string freaking rookie quarterback who, like what you say, like he's not a starter quarterback by any means. He's not. But he made the plays to get the ball down the field, made some good throws. They ran the ball decently. They didn't have Raheem Mostert in this game, which hurts because he had a huge game the last time they played. So Jeff Wilson and a couple other guys that they have in rotation behind him ran the ball okay. The Bills team's obviously the better team. That's the only reason that they're still here, is that roster is expected to be in at least the championship game. Expected to be.
Yeah, I mean, you look at from the quarterback position all the way down to every position on offense, they have just so much depth and talent at all of them. It's from tight end all the way down to their second string running backs. Like they have so much talent on offense, and their defense has been playing. They were playing incredible all season. I honestly think the Miami game is the worst they've played all season.
Honestly.
And now, don't get me wrong, Miami's offense, that's two of the fastest players in the NFL.
Yep.
Like, that's nothing to, shake a stick at, but I really feel like that's what's going to carry them into the Super Bowl.
I mean, we'll have to see how these next few games go. Like, they have a big test this coming week. That one we'll get into, but I think they need to figure out the Josh Allen situation. Josh Allen has honestly, in my opinion, taken a step back in his level of play in the last few weeks. He's making a lot more errant throws. He's making more aggressive throws. He's pushing the ball in places where he really doesn't need to. Forcing passes. He's not really extending plays as much as he was earlier on in the season. Like he wasn't using his legs as much. I think they're utilizing him like in a safer way, especially in the playoffs.
They don't want to get him hurt.
Yeah, exactly. But if he's going to keep playing at this high level, especially against these better teams, he has to be better in the pocket, be a better passer, and still extend his plays, utilize his legs because he can run. He's shown it, he's proven it, but he needs to do that instead of forcing some of these passes that he's been making some bad passes, especially as of late.
And so that's kind of going into, I mean, obviously we'll talk about it here shortly, but like that's going into this week. I think that makes the Bills beatable.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you go back to when Josh Allen was in peak form, like they were the top of the AFC, 100%. I would have had them over the Chiefs earlier on in the season. They were playing lights out. Josh Allen looked unstoppable. The last few weeks, I will say, I think they've taken a step back. The Chiefs have proven time and time again now that they're one of the best. They're one of the best teams. They really are. I think they're the best team in the AFC now. These next few weeks, who knows what can happen. So I mean,
it's gonna be interesting to say the least.
I think Josh Allen has to step up though if this Bills team wants to keep pushing.
Agreed. I agree there.
Dallas, thoughts?
I mean, yeah, pretty much the same thing. I mean, whether or not this team moves on is based upon if they can run the ball at least 75 to 100 yards.
Yeah, respectably.
Get Josh Allen going.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to have like a huge 150 plus rushing.
They need mistake-free football.
They need mid-season. They need mid-season Josh Allen back.
Is gonna eat it. So
they literally just need mistake-free Josh Allen going forward. The Giants-Vikings game. This was an interesting one.
It was. It went. I mean, the Vikings were very beatable going into it. Kirk Cousins, he plays so well at times, but like kind of going back to Brock Purdy, like what I said about him, he's just not as consistent as what the Vikings needed in this game.
Brock Purdy,
and their
or no,
defense.
sorry, Kirk Cousins, consistently inconsistent. That's
Yeah.
literally the
Cousins played good
definition.
this game,
Oh yeah,
actually.
this
Yeah, that's
was
what I'm
this was a
saying.
good game from Kirk Cousins. He was.
Justin Jefferson was a no-show in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did shut Justin Jefferson down. I mean, if you look at their losses this season, that's why they lost, was they shut down their number one target.
Kirk
Adam
Cousins
Thielen
a
played well.
phenomenal game.
I got one name for you, Adoree Jackson. That
Yes.
man shut down Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
He
I
did.
got another name for you, Daniel Jones.
That man
Yeah,
is.
Danny Dimes, baby.
He is him.
Dime bag Danny.
He is him.
He has. I don't know who he thought he was this weekend doing his best Josh Allen impersonations.
It really
But-
was.
Like, that man was out here trying to run like prime Michael Vick with, Peyton Manning's arm. Like, what are you doing?
That man was cooking
He
on
was
a level of cooking. I had,
out here. Gordon
And-
Ramsay would have been jealous
dude,
of that one.
It's my coach of the
telling you,
year.
bro.
It's my coach of the year.
I'm telling
you
you,
know,
man,
I kind of
I'm-
agree with you there.
my coach of the
telling you,
year.
man. Like if, like you guys are saying, if Brian Dable is your guys' coach of the year, and a lot of people were writing off Daniel Jones, calling him a bum, terrible quarterback. How did he win that position with that new coach if he was a bum?
So I agree with you there. Do you remember when the Giants drafted him and everyone was just mad? Everybody in New York was mad.
I mean,
And now look, now everyone's chanting his
It's-
name and like showing support.
You know the big issue that has come about, and I call it the Patrick Mahomes effect. Okay, Patrick Mahomes came into the NFL and dominated immediately,
Yes.
and it's almost like people expect that now out of a rookie quarterback,
Yep.
which is it's bullshit.
Yeah, you
A
can't do
rookie
it.
quarterback is not going to dominate.
nope.
Josh Allen, I mean, Patrick Mahomes was a generational talent.
He was.
That does not happen. He's a rare breed. Like, so for like people to be like writing off a guy after his rookie year is total nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's the most nonsense I think I've ever seen ever.
Oh yeah.
And
It's not often. It's
like-
not often you get quarterbacks that can just go into
like,
the NFL
quarterbacks
and
need
dominate.
No.
like if you're drafting a guy, the rookie contract is 4 years for a reason. 4 years. That's the time period that guy has to succeed.
Yeah.
Yep.
You give that guy 4 years you give him 4 years to succeed. If he doesn't do anything in 4 years, you let him go. You try to find something else. But this whole, unless he was horrible, like Zach Wilson, horrible, like horrible.
Davis
He has to be
Mills.
horrible. Yes, exactly. He has to be a horrible, like he has to play terrible for you to want to move on. But Daniel Jones has not ever played terrible football.
No, he's only improved as he. I mean, if you look at his stats in his career, if you look,
I mean, his rookie year, he 24-12 and 3,000 yards.
no, I mean, if you look at his stats, like
this guy is the future of the Giants, and
He
for
is.
people
100%.
like he showed what he can do with a receiving core that really, I mean, I didn't know who any of these dudes were coming in the years. Isaiah Hodgins said in this game that I'm a receiver one.
This is
That guy
another.
made catches that I was like, whoa.
This is
Yeah.
another one of those. Like I was saying before, a coach getting the talent out of his roster. Brian
I agree with you
Dable
there.
is
Yeah.
getting the talent out of the roster that he has. You look at the receivers that Daniel Jones was throwing to this year. Like he said, Isaiah Hodgins. We know Darius Slayton, but Darius Slayton's not a star-studded receiver. His name is bigger, yes, but he's not a star-studded receiver. You have guys that literally, who the fuck knows? Like, I don't even know the roster that well because I'm not a big
One thing that I will say about this Giants team is
Richie James, Colin Johnson, Marcus Johnson. Like,
Yeah, these
Who?
dudes, but these dudes cooked last week too.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part, man.
I know.
These dudes were eating last week. Darius Slayton had 88 yards.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hodgins 100 yards and a tutty. Like these dudes were eating.
But
Yeah,
that's
they
what I'm saying.
They were
Like,
playing in open space.
I think that comes down to Brian Dable. I think he's getting the talent out of the players that he has. He's
And they
making do
really-
with what they have on their roster, what they were given, and he's turned this team completely around. motivational coach. He's got that locker room. He definitely is getting the talent out of that roster, and look where they're at. They're in the divisional round of the playoffs for a team that sucked for so long.
Yeah.
They were bad,
and they really exposed the way the Vikings play defense. I mean, the Vikings didn't make an adjustment at all.
No,
I mean,
at
Saquon
all.
Barkley made them look like a high school team. He made their defense look like what he was doing to people when he played in Penn State. You can't do that in the NFL.
And
you cannot.
Their zone coverage got exposed, man.
Agreed.
Bad.
Yeah, because I don't think, to be honest,
Daniel Jones was
when you look at
dots into those zones, bro.
And it wasn't even that he didn't have to throw dots. He just had to put it within 5 yards.
Exactly. He didn't have to throw dots, but he was throwing dots into those zones.
Yeah.
So that just made it even harder on that defense.
I honestly think that Jameis Winston could have went in there and hit passes.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
And y'all already know how I feel about that because I'm a Saints fan. So.
Oh yeah. No, I mean
this game.
The Vikings are 100% one of the most overrated teams in the NFL this year. 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
I mean, they had a negative point differential.
First team to do that. To have 13 wins and have a negative point differential. It's crazy.
They got bailed out. They got bailed out by good offense.
I will say though,
but when it comes
their head
down
coach,
to it,
this is what their head coach's first season. O'Connell. I'm pretty sure he's a first-year coach.
Yeah.
For what he had as a team, he did pretty damn good as a first-year coach. I think they have to make a lot of adjustments defensively, but they had a good, I won't say great, but they had a good offense this year. So,
yeah. No,
I don't think this is a knock on their coach. I think they can just need to make some adjustments defensively.
It's the defensive coordinator, in my opinion.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think you can knock O'Connell for the way they played this year. They played pretty damn good football.
Yeah.
So, if you make the adjustments on defense, I think this team can easily come back next year and play the same level.
Yep.
I really do think they could win their division playing better defense.
Agreed.
Yep. Exactly.
Agreed.
I mean, both teams had great seasons. Either way. Two rookie coaches.
Yep.
Great. This was a good game, in my opinion. This was actually a very good game.
I enjoyed this game a lot.
Yeah, this was a very good game.
It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't anything crazy.
No, this was a good football game. There weren't any crazy mistakes. There were no interceptions thrown.
Yeah, there was no picks thrown in this game.
Yeah.
Both quarterbacks were playing great football, man.
It came down to the defense playing better by the Giants, in my opinion.
Yep.
That's literally what it came down to.
Yep.
Ravens Bengals. This game was actually solid.
It was closer than I thought it was going to
be. It was a solid game. The Ravens hung on.
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the Ravens hung around. The defense,
except for the fact that, we win this game if we hand the ball to J.K. Dobbins. That's all I'm going to say.
He has abandoned the run.
If J.K. Dobbins gets the ball there on that 2-yard line or 3-yard line or whatever instead of Tyler Huntley, I'm telling you the Ravens win this game.
He has abandoned the run. He abandoned it and put the ball into a quarterback that doesn't have the experience.
Fumble, man.
Doesn't have the experience. You give the ball to a guy who's a second-string quarterback at best.
Yeah.
This game would have been completely opposite if Lamar Jackson was in at quarterback.
Yeah, that's exactly
100%.
what I said.
But
Lamar plays, the Ravens win 31 points.
I do agree with Lamar Jackson's decision to sit out.
He's injured.
Because he's playing for his future. He's not playing for right now.
Yeah, because you look at guys that tried to play through injuries like Robert Griffin. Even
RG3.
he said it. It is such a smart decision because Lamar Jackson has the opportunity to be a legitimate generational quarterback talent to go very far.
I'm pretty sure he's already there.
He's
honestly,
and I'm saying, and to sustain it.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't take care of his body, which I'm glad he did, I like Lamar Jackson. I like watching him play football. It is fun to watch. As much as me and Dallas goes back and forth about it. Obviously, we both know Lamar Jackson is a great quarterback and has nothing but room to grow.
Great quarterback. I think if RG3 had done the same thing that Lamar Jackson's doing currently, I think RG3 is still playing currently, and he's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, honestly.
I 100% agree.
Honestly.
Probably have a ring.
Honestly.
So Does it suck for the Ravens for this season specifically?
Yes.
But does it help for their longevity if they can keep him? Yes.
Oh, he's already.
He's returning.
John Harbaugh made that clear.
Yeah,
Lamar came out and said it himself.
So I think obviously
Wants
going
to be
into
a
next
lifelong
season,
Raven.
going into next season, I think it's going to really pay off for them. Like I said, unfortunate to be out of the playoffs now, but if they would have won that game, right, I think Lamar Jackson would have forced himself back in, maybe not being 100%. And if he gets hurt again, then he's ruined for next season.
I don't see him forcing himself to play.
He wouldn't have. He wouldn't have.
I really don't. Lamar understands.
Yeah, I mean he's very smart.
That if he takes that PCL injury and turns it into something worse, that generational talent is probably gone.
Yeah, he would if he had re-injured that knee. If he came back and got hurt even worse, he would have. He would have.
The Ravens would have had to have had some miracle run with Tyler Huntley.
Yep.
But that was never going to happen because we have a offensive play caller who
had.
Yeah, we had an offensive play caller who I will give Greg Roman this. One of the best run game OCs ever.
Oh yeah.
In NFL history.
Oh yeah.
He ran a run game that the NFL has probably it was insane.
Mm-hmm.
The run game that he coordinated.
Oh yeah.
This is a pass first league. You have to be able to throw the football. You have to be able to convert on 3rd and short. You have to be able to score in the red zone. Those are the flaws the Ravens had all year. And look what happened. We got to the 3-yard line. We're in the red zone. Fumble. Return for a touchdown. Game over.
Yeah, I think that's what swung the momentum towards the Bengals, which now let's not sell short with what Joe Shiesty's doing over there in Cincinnati. That team was so bad for so long, and now they're becoming consistent. They've got the talent, they've got the weapons. Now let's just see if their defense can stay healthy, because I know that's going to be their biggest struggle. And if they protect Joe Burrow, I've said it all season. They protect Joe Burrow. He's the most accurate quarterback.
Joe Burrow's great, but he was not great in this game. He played one of the best defenses in the NFL, and defense matters most in the playoffs.
Yep.
It showed. The Ravens weren't giving the Bengals anything.
No, they had no run. They had no run game, none whatsoever.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Ravens, the number 2 run defense in the NFL.
Exactly.
So.
Burrow made the passes he needed to in this game. He didn't take risks in this game. That's the biggest thing.
I agree with that.
He played a passive game, and it literally came down to one defensive play. Is literally the difference of this game. It was one defensive play. But that's the thing. The Bengals played it smart in this game. They didn't play aggressive. They let the plays happen, and they let this game happen the way it should have. And that's literally what it came down to. Burrow didn't make any mistakes, but he also didn't play aggressive and try to force anything. He just let the game come to him and let the game come to the Bengals. The Bengals won this game because of one play. They didn't make any mistakes, but they won because of their defense making a play. And that's sometimes all that matters. You don't have to be a super aggressive offense to win a football game in the NFL. If your defense can make a play, that's all that matters. Literally it.
Yep.
I mean, good win for the Bengals. 100%. Tough loss for the Ravens. That's literally it.
I will say, I've come to like the growth out of Tyler Huntley as well. He has shown improvement this year. When he filled in for Lamar last year, the Ravens were horrible. This year, Tyler Huntley looked a lot better, a lot more controlled. I honestly think our woes offensively were literally come down to our OC.
Yeah,
it's no longer.
Moving forward for the Ravens, they have to find weapons for Lamar. They have to
exactly
find.
What I'm pretty sure they're doing.
Yes, well, the thing is Lamar runs a pro-style offense. You have to put your offense in the hands of Lamar Jackson. You basically have to give Lamar Jackson the offensive coordinator position, literally. That's literally what it has to come down to. You give him the talent, let him do what they need to do.
Who did I hear as a potential?
I don't really follow the Ravens, so I don't know free agency yet for them. But
potentially Bobby Slowick.
I don't know who that is, but
the Niners OC, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
That would be interesting.
I heard that that they're looking at him this offseason potentially as our offensive coordinator.
The biggest takeaway
Which
for
would
me is
be-
the defense for the Ravens. I don't think will ever change. I think that team's just going to pick up where they left off. So,
Yep,
Oh.
I do too.
if not, get better. Like,
Yep, agreed.
Easy. David Ojabo is going to play
you,
next
you,
year.
you locked up Roquan Smith in the middle. Patrick Queen stepped
Yep.
up after switching positions. He's not the
Yep.
leader in the middle. The Roquan Smith is. He's the number 2 behind Roquan. Less pressure on himself. He played better.
He played great football this
you
year,
have-
actually.
You have freaking, you just said David Ojabo. He's going to be healthy. He looked good for the little bit that he was on the field, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure. So, like, a fully healthy David Ojabo with Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen, that linebacking core is
And
scary.
Odafe Owe,
That linebacking core is scary.
Justin Houston might return. Yeah, I love the Ravens defense.
Yep.
And everybody was look. It was a brand new defensive coordinator. I knew that there was going to be hiccups early on. All those hiccups got erased
Oh, yeah.
at the end of the year.
That defense turned completely on its side, like, literally flipped it.
Yep.
It was two different
averaged, I
teams.
think it was like 6 games. The Ravens were allowing like 300 plus passing yards.
You guys were literally
That-
like 32nd in the NFL.
Yeah, that minimized to like 220 by the end of the year.
You guys were
so-
literally 32nd in the NFL after like week 3.
I know. So, I don't know. I like our defensive coordinator, and I love the way the defense played. The defense showed that this
Bright
defense will
future.
Yeah.
Bright future for Baltimore. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not really worried about my Ravens.
Nope. The last game of the week was the Cowboys-Buccaneers game. This game was
Y'all
wild.
told me to never bet against Tom Brady in the playoffs, but I did, and it paid off.
Lucky for you.
I know.
Lucky
I
for
know.
you.
As a Dolphins fan, going up against Tom Brady for as long as we did,
Yep, I know.
you just can't bet against Tom Brady. He shows it
But I
time and
just-
time again. You can't bet against him.
So that's the thing, though.
This game was not lost by Tom Brady. This
No,
game
that's
was
what I was gonna
lost
say.
by the coaching
It was-
staffs.
it was not Tom Brady that
Tom
lost
Brady
this
was
game.
outcoached. He wasn't outplayed. He was outcoached. That's literally what it comes down to in this game.
Yep, and
The
that's-
Cowboys and their offensive
what I was
scheme
betting
that
on.
Kellen Moore is running in that system, Kellen Moore's offense is scary. It is.
Yeah.
When you can outplay Tom Brady with your offense, that's
Mhm.
scary.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I like what I said last week going into that game. It's like, you know what, I'm taking the Cowboys here just because I really feel like their offense is better coached and better managed than what the Buccaneers offense is, because I told you all the last few games, Tom Brady not Brady, but the offense and their defense did not look good, and I did not think that they had I didn't think they could go all 4 rounds. Let's call it rounds, right? All 4 rounds with the Cowboys and keep up.
See,
They were going to run out of gas.
the thing is, Dak Prescott has not looked good all season long. This Dak
No.
Prescott looks like a completely different Dak Prescott.
It did.
And I think that
came out
comes
and
down
balled.
to the coaching staff. The coaching staff let Dak Prescott handle what he needed to do. Instead of forcing Dak Prescott to do, they let Dak Prescott do what he wanted to do while running their system that they have. It comes down to Kellen Moore. Like, I love him as a coach. I really do. I'm excited for his future in the NFL because he could be a fantastic head coach, in my opinion. That offense that he's come up with for Dallas is scary. It really is. The amount of motion that they use on that team, moving people, moving pieces, it's actually scary to look at.
I mean, and you look at their backfield.
Oh, that two-headed monster they have there, yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Zeke's a little old, but Tony Pollard, that man.
It's a
Gone this offseason.
two-headed monster. Pollard's probably gone,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I think they
He's
might try
FA.
to. Yeah, I know, but I really think they may
can-
try to re-sign him
I can see.
after the year he had.
I can see.
See, the
16
thing
teams
the
paying
thing
that
is Kellen Moore might be gone. So
That is true. That is
if
true.
Kellen Moore leaves, I don't see Pollard returning. I don't. I really don't.
That is true. I wonder. That would be tragic for Dallas going into next
I
season.
can
But
see
I'll
16
leave that
teams
conversation for a
paying
future
Tony
episode
Pollard.
Yeah.
once we
that
get
would be-
towards the end of the year. Currently, though, that offense is scary.
Looks
If
good.
Dak
It does
Prescott
look good.
does not make mistakes, they are a very powerful team. I
way the
It's
It's the way the Cowboys should have looked every single week of the
100%.
regular season.
100%.
But Dak Prescott makes too many mistakes.
Yeah, it's true.
I think he's going
prone
to
to
make
it.
mistakes this week.
I could see it too, honestly. We'll have to see how it goes, though, you know? But in this game, Dak Prescott looked like a completely different person, and I truly believe that it came down to the coaching staff. The coaches that they have there in Dallas know what they're doing.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yep.
A great win for Dallas. Tough loss for the Bucks.
Yep.
Maybe Tom Brady's last game in Tampa. Maybe Tom Brady's last game in the NFL.
Wouldn't that be wild to see? He goes out like that.
I don't know. The way he ended his press conference was very cryptic. His final press conference after that game, like he thanked all of the reporters individually. So, I don't know. Very cryptic press conference to end his season.
We will see what happens, boys.
They had asked him what his plans were, and he said, "I'm just going home." That's literally what he said.
I'm going home. That's
Yep.
it.
That's literally what it came down to.
Taking my football and I'm going home.
Yep. That's what he said. And then left. So, it'll be interesting, definitely. I don't know. We may have seen the last of Tom Brady in Tampa. I think
Wouldn't that be wild?
I think there's a higher chance of that being the end of Tom Brady in Tampa more so than the end of Tom Brady in the NFL.
I do agree. I think that might be it too. Maybe he does 1 or 2 seasons on another team and then calls it.
I don't know.
Depending.
I don't know what his plans are, and I'm not Tom Brady, so I couldn't tell you.
It's crazy. He has been playing in the NFL since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yep.
That is wild.
Crazy. Good win for Dallas, though. Big win. Big win.
Yep.
All right. So, Dallas, you and me, you ended up going a solid 4-2 this week in picks. I was 5-1. We got the 4 divisional games. First one, Jags Chiefs. I mean, I'm pretty sure you and me are close on this one. It's Chiefs, right? It's gonna be Chiefs.
Oh yeah,
they're the best team in the AFC.
Jaguars are not beating the Chiefs. No way. Trevor Lawrence is gonna have to have the game of his career.
I agree with you there.
I don't see the Chiefs being beatable. I really don't.
They're making it out of the AFC, bro. There's no way.
That's my AFC champ.
The only thing that makes me, I'm not leaning towards the Jaguars, but the only thing that makes me say, hey, maybe they have a chance and it's not going to be a blowout, is I feel like the Chiefs' defense has some moments that their offense can't cover. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does. Yeah.
So, like, their random losses this year, the Colts. Their defense had moments their offense couldn't cover up. So, I feel like if the Jaguars play perfect, I think they can win. I think they have a chance. Be it slim, yes.
So, who's your pick for this week?
I'm going to go with the Chiefs just because.
It's playoff Mahomes, bro.
It is playoff Mahomes.
It is playoff Mahomes. However.
And they're rested. Yes,
that is. I think that's my reason for going with the Chiefs. They're not beat up. Do they have a couple of injuries? Yeah, but I think Travis Kelce. I really think they're going to come out and play very good football.
Andy Reid coach team rested. Whoa.
Yeah, the
one thing that I did see today, and it's actually the one thing that doesn't scare me, but puts a little thing in my head is Mecole Hardman is out in this game.
Yes, I saw that. So that is a big target off the field, and that means they can target, Kelce a little more.
But Tony,
Juju, Tony.
Yeah,
bro,
you have Valdez-Scantling.
The most complete receiving core in the NFL.
But it's one less target to have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So you can spread your defense a little bit more. More so than having to focus solely on, okay, you got this star receiver, that star receiver, you have Kelce. You can flex out your defense a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You can play a little looser, you know what I mean?
Maybe a little bit.
Not too much, but
I think this is the Jaguars' road to winning this game. have to shut down the run completely and make the Chiefs one-dimensional. If they shut down the run completely and the Chiefs can't run the football at all,
You got to put
then
pressure on
become
Mahomes. You can't let him just sit back there.
Exactly. They have to develop a pass rush, which is going to be hard against that insanely good offensive line.
Trayvon Walker's looked hot, though.
That O-line has got like 3 All-Pros on it.
It does. It does. Like I said, the Chiefs, in my opinion, are the AFC champs. So I'll put them there right now. I'll say it right now. I'll fall with that train. But they have.
I think it's going to be a better game than most.
This will be a good game. It will be a good game. Yes, in my opinion.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
No. I think this score could be like the Giants-Vikings game, in my opinion.
Agreed. I agree.
That's just the way I see it.
It's going to come down to who makes the most mistakes. It's not going to come down to
Trevor Lawrence will probably.
I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys, and I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence.
Do what?
1 second, sorry. I think this game is actually going to be very favored for the Chiefs. I think Pat Mahomes is going to throw 300 plus 3 touchdowns.
I mean, that's a fair assessment. I mean, the Chiefs are just that good, so.
But yeah, I want it to be a good game, and I think it will be a solid game if the Jaguars play to their capability. And if the Chiefs play down, I think they lose.
We'll have
That's
to see.
the only thing.
We'll have to see.
But I think the Chiefs will end up winning just because Patrick Mahomes, the man's.
This team has already played. They already played each other this year.
Mm-hmm.
That game starts in 20 hours.
Yep. I'm excited to watch.
Let's look here. 1 second.
It'll be a good game. It will.
Mm-hmm.
It will.
Yeah, the last time Patrick Mahomes played them, he threw 4 touchdowns. So
yeah, I mean, it's playoff Pat Mahomes. It's the Chiefs in the playoffs. It's at home.
Andy Reid.
It's Andy Reid. Exactly. Exactly.
It'll be good to watch.
Either way, it's going to either be a good game where the Chiefs come out and win, or it's going to be a Chiefs blowout. In my opinion, that's literally what it's going to come down to. I mean, plain and simple. Next game, Giants at Eagles. Eagles rested, number 1 seed. I think the Eagles pull this one out.
Man, I love the Giants this year, but Jalen Hurts he's established himself in the NFL.
Yep.
The only thing that worries me about this game, because I'm going to pick the Eagles, but the only thing that worries me about it is if Jalen Hurts rushed his injury.
I don't think he did. I genuinely don't.
No, his injury wasn't serious. Wasn't really like.
I mean, it's a shoulder injury, and as a quarterback, that's scary.
I'm riding the Eagles.
I think Jalen Hurts is fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Eagles. I think
better roster, better coach, better roster, better quarterback.
Like I said, I'm going with the Eagles on it. This is another game I feel like could come down to 1 or 2 mistakes, and it could go the other way.
Jalen Hurts with his legs is just
we have to see
opens up so much field.
It does.
We have to see Jalen Hurts play the way he played all year. We have to see that Jalen Hurts that finds the end zone with his legs once or twice,
extends plays and makes those plays downfield.
Hits AJ Brown on those deep crossers, stuff like that. Same Eagles football that we've seen all year, where they're going to run RPOs and they're just going to tire out the defense. Mm-hmm. Jalen Hurts is going to run the ball 15 to 20 times.
That's another thing, though.
This is going to be a very methodical Eagles win.
You saw Adoree Jackson shut down Justin Jefferson. Adoree Jackson's not going to do that against AJ Brown. He's not. AJ Brown's such a more physical receiver. He's a bigger bodied receiver than Justin Jefferson. Adoree Jackson's 5'11" at best. I'm almost positive. He's a shorter receiver or shorter corner.
Yeah.
AJ Brown is what, 6'4"?
AJ Brown's he likes to put hands on corners. Justin Jefferson plays bad when corners put hands on him. So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. I think it'll be a good game, but I do think the Eagles pull it out. I think they have too much longevity. They have
Miles
they have
Sanders.
too much speed.
We haven't even talked about Miles Sanders. Sanders could easily have 100 yards in this game.
They've got options on offense, and as good as the Giants' offense has been, I just don't think their defense. I don't think their offense can cover up for their defense this game.
I pulled your stats for you. Dory Jackson's 5'10", 185. AJ Brown's 6'1", 227.
Yeah, he's a bigger body. Like I said, it'll be good. I think it'll be a closer game. I don't think it's going to be an all-out blowout on one side, but I do think the Eagles. I think the Eagles end up winning this one.
They do. I'm taking Philly in this as well. I just think that they're a better team.
I'm not really thinking about the one-on-one matchup between AJ Brown and Dory Jackson. Dory Jackson could very well lock up AJ Brown.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he will, but I'm more thinking receiver depth.
Oh yeah, you have Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins,
Smith, and Quez Watkins, and do the Giants have the corner depth to match that? That's where I don't think they do.
I don't either.
And another thing is this Eagles O-line is not the same O-line they just went against. The Vikings O-line is not good.
They're not terrible, but they're not great.
They're not the Eagles O-line.
No, they're not.
The Eagles O-line is like Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey.
You had 4 All-Pros on this offensive line.
Yeah, exactly. This O-line is... These dudes eat, okay?
4 All-Pro offensive linemen.
This O-line eats. It's going to be a very different game for the Giants. The Giants are
definitely.
And then another thing, the Eagles also have a way better defense than the Vikings. So I don't know if I think Daniel Jones could have a similar game, not to the same productivity level that he did against the Vikings. No way.
This game could literally come down to 1 or 2 defensive plays by the Eagles, and I think they have the defense that could make those plays. So that's where I see it going. Like I said, I think this game could be a good game.
Playing in this game, or
he
is
is.
He out for the year?
He's playing. Okay. They activated him.
That's their guy too.
Yep.
He makes plays coming out of that safety position.
Yep, I'm sure you miss him in New Orleans. Darian.
You have no idea.
I mean, he literally left your team and led this team in picks. So.
Yep.
Welcome to my struggle.
Yep.
As a Saints fan.
It'll be a good game.
You have not enjoyed watching this.
This will be a good game. It's a division rival. It's a division rivalry game too.
I know you miss Sean Payton.
Well, it's still a sore subject.
Oh man,
I miss having a quarterback. I miss having a quarterback. That's what I miss. I miss having a quarterback that that's not going to throw 29 touchdowns with 37 interceptions. Now, Andy Dalton showed out this year. He didn't play awful.
Showed out.
Hold on. For Andy Dalton, let's leave it where it is. He didn't play awful.
I'd actually say he had a very Andy Dalton year.
He had a very average season, but
Yes, he had an Andy Dalton season.
He had an Andy Dalton year.
Average, but you know what? I'll take it.
18 touchdowns, 9 picks. He would play a good game, have a bad game, play a good game, have a bad game.
Sounds like another guy named Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
As Doobie was saying last week,
consistently inconsistent.
Listen, as Doobie was saying last week, Andy Dalton is a game manager.
Yep.
He's not going to win a game for you.
I think he's going to be great when he goes to coaching.
I could see him being a good quarterbacks coach, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kellen. That's what Kellen Moore started out as. Now look at him. He's one of the best offensive coaches in the league.
Yep. 100%.
So Kellen Moore was a career backup quarterback and became a coach and instantly took off. Instantly.
Yep. You know what I do find really funny though about Kellen Moore? How the Giants used the play that he did at Boise State.
Oh yeah.
Last weekend. That had me dying.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they tried it. Yep.
Well, no, they did it. It worked.
No, it worked. Yeah.
100% worked. Statue of Liberty, baby.
Yep. It'll be a good game though, 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
Bills-Bengals game will probably be an even better game, in my opinion.
So here's where I'm probably gonna go against the grain with y'all.
Okay, go ahead. I want to hear yours.
I think Joe Burrow's winning this. One, because the Bills look beatable. The Bills looked very beatable last week, and I honestly believe that Joe Burrow is going to eat up their defense.
You can't see it. I can see it. I took the Bengals too. I genuinely think that Burrow will outplay Josh Allen in this game. I genuinely think he will. The offensive line play has been much better, much improved this season for
Agreed.
Cincinnati. The Bills pass rush has actually been solid since Von Miller went down, but you don't have Von Miller anymore.
Exactly. I think that's one reason I'm really leaning towards the Bengals with this one. They don't have. I don't think the Bills have anyone that's going to be able to keep Joe Burrow inside the pocket, and because you let him start getting outside, extending plays.
I will disagree with you on that because they have Ed Oliver.
That's what but they don't have.
And Greg Russo.
Yeah, I mean, Russo's good, but I just
had an
don't.
All-Pro year.
He did.
I just don't think that it's enough.
There's also another guy named Matt Milano back there.
It's 100% enough because this Bengals O-line just got hurt. So
yeah, the Bengals offensive line is very hurt. They don't have Leo Collins. They don't have Jonah Jackson. They don't have Cordell Volson.
Last week too.
They're all out in this game. So
good luck.
I will say
I'm going Bills.
To be fair for Cincinnati, the guys who replaced all of those guys did step up and they have played well.
Yes.
I will say that. It is backups. I will say that. Yes, I agree with you, Dallas. That is a risky, but they have stepped up. I will say that. And I'll leave you on that.
Okay, this is what I'm going to say, bro. This is all I'm going to say. This game is going to be won or lost by the Bills. The Bengals are not going to beat this team. The Bills are either going to win or lose this game.
It's going to come down to Josh Allen.
Not going to beat this team.
It's going to come down to Josh Allen.
No shot in hell. The Bengals are going to be. It's win or lost by the Bills. The Bills control this game 100%. There's no way Joe Burrow is going to. He didn't do it against the Ravens. He's not going to do it against the Bills.
The Bills' defense is different than the Ravens' defense. The Bills' defense was
very
not.
Different. The Bills' defense, they have I would say probably a better secondary. Regarding, I'd say no. They 100%. Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer. That secondary is great. I know they're missing Micah Hyde, but Micah Hyde was playing this game. There's no way Joe Burrow's throwing over the top against this Bills defense. And with the hurt O-line, he's probably going to have a few, very limited time to throw the football. This Bills defense closes very quickly to the football. I think Josh Allen's going to play great in this game. There's no way he doesn't. I don't see it. Josh Allen.
The Bills' passing defense was 15th this year.
Exactly. They have injuries. They have Micah Hyde's out the whole year. He's not playing in this game. But
they were number 5 against the run.
But I think where the Bengals are going to get exposed is, I think, this hurt O-line. There's no way they're going to step up against their great D. That D-line across the board is great. Across the board is great.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout in either way, but I really feel like
come down to the wire, but
I have to go with the Bengals on this one. For a couple reasons.
I understand why you're going with the Bengals. I get 100% why you're going with the Bengals. Joe Burrow has been great in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He has proven himself as a quarterback.
He has.
But what did he look like against the Ravens?
He didn't look terrible.
He didn't do anything. He did not win that game for the Bengals. It's not Joe Burrow that won the Bengals.
He didn't need to, though. That's the thing. He didn't need to. He didn't need to.
They almost lost that game against the Ravens. Against Tyler Huntley, they almost lost.
To be fair, he didn't need to, though.
I mean, he had a 99.6 QBR, 23 for 32. 209 and a touchdown.
He didn't need to do anything. That's the thing. They let the defense make the plays. That's literally what they need. That's all they needed to do.
Yeah. He had 2 touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown and a.
But if you look at that, if you look at that,
you can't take that last game. You have to take that game. You have to take that game with a grain of salt. You do. If Lamar Jackson plays that game, Joe Burrow plays much more aggressive. 100%.
I agree.
100%. He played down. He played down to the level that the Ravens were playing.
Effectively, as the Bills have a good defense. Okay,
not a great one. Not a great one.
It's
not a great one. The stats don't lie, Dallas. I know they had injuries, but the stats don't lie. Plain and simple. They were middle ground on defense this year. They were.
If Josh Allen plays to the abilities that Josh Allen can play, it's going to be the Bengals are fighting back in this game, the whole game.
It's going to be a good game either way. I'm not denying that.
This is the game of the week.
It's going to come down to the quarterback play.
This and the Niners Cowboys those are the games of the week.
You're going to see Burrow be very aggressive in this game, 100%.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that also on the offensively for the Bills as well.
You will. Will Josh Allen step up and play better is my next question, because we've seen Josh Allen in the last few weeks play aggressively, and he's thrown some picks. He's thrown some bad passes. Will we see that in this game? I don't know. Joe Burrow has proven that he can be aggressive and still do extremely well. Josh Allen, yes, he's a fantastic quarterback. He's probably top 3 in my opinion in the NFL. But in the last few weeks, and it's trending now, that he has started to make sloppy plays. He's starting to play sloppy. Will that continue to happen? Who knows? We have to see how it plays out. But the Bills' defense is middle ground. The stats prove it here. Josh Allen is going to win or lose this game for the Bills, like you keep saying. It's not going to come down to poor play from Joe Burrow or not aggressive play from Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is going to play aggressive football in this game, hands down the entire game. Like, he's not going to play slow. He's going to throw the football. He's going to launch the football in this game.
I think this. It's a lot to overcome, and another factor. This Bills team has an inspiration right now that I don't know, man. A lot to overcome.
It's gonna be a good game. Either way, it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, 100%. That's not something I'm denying. I'm just saying I think the Bills are gonna win this game.
I respect that. It's gonna be a good game. We'll have to see how it plays out. The last game of the week's the Cowboys-Niners game. I mean, I'm pretty sure we're all solidified on our pick for this game.
Yeah. Like I said,
as much as you want,
talking about.
as much as you want your money.
Yeah, like, just because obviously bet on the underdogs, but like, I think the Niners defense is just too good, and I think they're going to
defense.
Oh, I know, but I'm saying they're going to force Dak into mistakes, and then their offense is going to capitalize.
Yep.
Like I said, Brock Purdy has been very consistent, just like I said about what he did last week.
Yep.
They took those turnovers and they capitalized, and that's what changed the game against last week. And I think that's what's going to push them to win this game this week. It's that defense is too much. It's going to they're not going to let up on Dak. They're going to hit Dak. They're going to force him into mistakes and bad throws, and that secondary's they're going to have a field day with him.
Putting all of that aside, depth is the biggest thing here for me.
Yes.
That 49ers defense alone, the depth on that team, phenomenal. The depth on that offense, phenomenal. Anyone, like, the second strings on this 49ers team could probably beat 3/4 of the NFL.
The third string quarterback is cooking teams, bro.
I will say this. I will frickin' ride this train to the grave. The 49ers second strings could probably beat 3/4 of the NFL. 3/4.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
There's one more thing I want to say before we go too deep into this one. I wanted to look this up. If you look, this is about the Bills-Bengals game.
Go ahead.
Joe Burrow has had a better season than Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen didn't play. Hold on, though. Josh Allen didn't play a game. Joe Burrow didn't play a game, so you can't use that as a factor.
But I'm going completion percentage.
No. I'm agreeing.
Joe Burrow is higher.
So they both didn't play that game, so the game didn't count. So you can't use that as a factor into any of it.
I just looked this up. Yeah, because Joe Burrow is 4,475 yards, 35 TDs, and 12 interceptions. Josh Allen is 63% completion, 4,283 yards, 35 TDs, 14 interceptions. Now it's close, but I just wanted to throw that. I just wanted to throw that last little bit in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, going in back to what's at hand, the Cowboys Niners. I think the and you've got their backfield's too deep. I don't think the Cowboys defense, as good as they've been against passes.
Elijah Mitchell's back. Mitchell's back, and he looks good.
So, I just think that the Niners look too strong on both sides of the ball for the Cowboys to beat them.
Also, the Niners played on Saturday. This past Saturday, they were the first game of the week.
Yep.
Had all this time off. The Cowboys played on Monday.
Yep. So they only had 6 days to recover, and the Niners had 7. I mean 8.
8.
Oh, like I said, I think it may be a closer game than we're letting on to be in the first half. But
I don't think it's going to be close. I don't.
When they played,
I don't see it.
Because they haven't played each other this year. So this is going to be.
I don't see it happening. I think this 49ers team kills them.
Like I said, I just think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot like the Seattle game.
Dak Prescott's going to make mistakes in this game, 100%. The pressure is going to force Dak Prescott to roll, and he's going to make bad passes. He's going to make mistakes. It's going to happen.
Schwartz going to have a pick in this game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think it's going to be just like the Seattle game for the Niners. I think the first half is going to be close, and then that second half, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Ayuk, they're going to come.
Elijah Mitchell,
they're going to
George Kittle.
They're going, yeah. I say they've got
best left tackle in the NFL.
Their offense alone makes up a Pro Bowl team, like it. So I think they run away with it in the second half.
Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Aziz Al-Shaair, Hufanga. Yeah,
he's not even a starter.
Yeah,
Hufanga? Yes, he is. He's their starting strong safety.
He is?
Yes.
I just really feel
like they started the other guy. I thought they had both of those guys on like a very equal rotation.
No, Hufanga's been the starter since like week 2.
Oh.
And also, guess what? I saw today, Garoppolo was released. So
what?
I saw it earlier. They released Garoppolo.
No. There's no way.
Where did I see it?
I
Major Jimmy Garoppolo updated. The 49ers set take on Dallas in divisional round playoffs. Star quarterback Garoppolo will not be available for the game, but significant update emerged Friday later on postseason. Should they beat Dallas?
Yeah, no. He's going to be there. He's literally active for this game.
Well, where was it? I thought I read something earlier that they released him.
No.
maybe I read it wrong.
No, he's not active for this game, but
maybe that's what it's just. I really thought I saw something that said they released him.
No.
Maybe I'm losing my mind.
No, they said that when he comes back, Brock Purdy will continue to be the starter. That's what they said today. That's what the team said today. They're not releasing Garoppolo. Healthy Garoppolo is a solid
this
quarterback.
Game's going to be scrappy, bro.
You think? Micah Parsons going to get in trouble?
I don't think anybody's going to get in trouble. These teams are going to be battling. These teams are. It's going to get scrappy.
When you say scrappy, I think fighting.
Well, it's going to be heated. Scrappy doesn't necessarily mean fighting, but these teams are definitely. I remember this is this is a rematch.
It'll be a good game. It will.
This is the last postseason's rematch.
All of these games are going to be great games. They're all going to be great games, and as they should be. These are the best teams in the NFL right now. Mm-hmm. So every one of them's earned their spot here. They're all going to be fighting for that next spot, you know. So going to be good games, 100%. Any final thoughts before we wrap up this episode?
No, I just I think it's going to be a good week of football. I think some of these games are going to be a little closer than a lot of people look at. However, as obviously we talked about the bets that I made earlier, but I really, hey, but that's for the money, right? But I really feel like that it's going to be a good week of football. It's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be very interesting because I feel like some of these games can go the other way off of 1 to 2 plays, and it's gonna be a fun week. It's gonna be a fun week of football, and I'm excited to see what these championship games are gonna be.
Definitely.
Because if it ends up being a Jaguars-Bengals championship game, Bengals back to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row. Joe Burrow solidifies his legacy right then and there. And then if it comes down to the Giants and the Cowboys. Like I said, I don't think the Cowboys can win. That's the only team that I really don't think has enough to go the distance and beat the other team they're playing. But it would just be so fun to watch that happen. Like the Giants of old, making the playoff run as a 10-win team, and it would be cool to watch.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Dallas, any other thoughts for this week?
No, I just the only thing I'm gonna say is I really think that Chiefs-Jags game is gonna get out of the hand in the Chiefs' favor. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, we'll have to see how that plays out.
I think that's gonna be the only blowout game of the week.
We'll definitely have to watch that. I mean, it's now about 20 hours away from kickoff.
Yep.
So
And
at the
boys,
time of
I'm
this,
not working tomorrow, so I'm sitting right here watching these games with y'all.
W. Well, Darian, thank you for being on the
Absolutely. I'm glad y'all
the
invited me.
show.
Appreciate bringing on. I look forward to maybe doing some more in the future with y'all.
100%. Where can they find you, Darian?
What was that?
Where can they find you?
Oh, hit me up on Instagram at Darian Burton, DERRIANBURTON, and Twitter at the Joker Actual.
All right. Oh,
So find me on there. Hit me up.
yeah, go ahead and slide in his DMs.
I wouldn't do that. She fights people.
But anywho, hopefully these games will be great. We'll catch you guys next week for the championship. We'll see who wins.
Ravens.
We'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys have a great one. Peace.
Boom. Bobby Boucher.